Hey everybody, welcome back to the WeSkillNow channel. Today we are doing some more theory crafting for Trailblazer, and I'm here to answer the most sought after question at this point, and that is, what relic is the best? Now when Jagex announced that they were doing another league, they were kind enough to tell us about the plans that they had for the first tier relic right away. And they gave us all 3 relics, and they gave us some great options this time around. Combinations from the first one, new ideas, and let's just go ahead and talk about what they are right away. I've got the official Jagex announcement page pulled up here so that we can look at the exact wording of the relics and how they're presented here. Relics are a little bit different this time around because you'll notice that there's a passive unlock for all of them, and that's just going to make us a little bit stronger than last time, where we're not as locked into what we're choosing, but no matter how much you progress, you're going to be gaining some really cool thing. For this first relic, if you choose one, you are automatically going to get infinite run energy, so we don't get to play with the hashtag, it wasn't no more walkers, but last time, everyone made fun of people that didn't choose the infinite run relic. And it hurt my feelings pretty bad because I didn't choose the run relic. But this time, I get to run around with everybody else. Imagine walking, that's what it was. So what relics did they provide us with? Relic 1, you've got this choice here. Endless Harvest. Now this is really interesting because whenever you're fishing, whenever you're wood cutting or mining, everything you do gets multiplied by 2. But the extra cool thing is that getting your resources multiplied by 2 isn't burdensome in the fact that you have to go to the bank all the time, but rather they get multiplied by 2 and everything gets sent to your bank immediately. So that's epic. This music's weirding me out. So Relic 1, really strong, but let's compare it to Relic 2. Relic 2 is really strong too. There's a number of activities that if you do them, it completes the entire action immediately instead of you having to wait for the entire inventory to process. So let's say that you're going to the furnace and you've got a full inventory of iron bars and you have to wait for your character to put every single iron ore in and then see if you get the bar or not. You just do it once and the whole inventory is going to be done immediately. And that applies to smelting, smithing, making cannonballs, which is really awesome, fletching logs, cutting bolt tips, cleaning herbs, not that big of a benefit there, but making potions is huge, cooking food, making jugs of wine, and then pretty much everything that has to do with crafting is just done immediately. Leather, gems, glass, jewelry, pottery, battle staffs, and spinning flax and wool. That's a really powerful thing that's going to save you a lot of time. And then a really interesting one, Relic 3, it's called Skilling Prodigy, and that this applies to all non-combat stats, but you get permanently boosted in everything by +10. I think it's a visible boost, right? But the cool thing is that you can still use potions to boost your stuff, and it goes beyond the initial +10, and when it drains back down, it just goes back to the standard +10 for you all the time. So when I first saw Relic 3, I thought it wasn't that strong, but I've had quite a few people argue otherwise. So let's talk about the relics. What can you actually do with these things, and which one should you choose? Now, I'll admit that I probably have some personal bias, because I had a great time in the first league. I was the guy that chose the relic that automatically banked all the things that you produced, and that also included farming in the first league, so things are a little bit different this time around. And that choice was actually a really difficult choice to make, because I had to choose that one at the expense of not being able to run everywhere. I had limited run energy, but instead I was able to automatically bank everything that I chopped, mined, fished, and farmed. I was really big into the aspect of AFK play, and I think that's what Relic 1 is all about. AFK play. In Trailblazer, Relic 1 is actually a combination of a couple of relics from Twisted League. So this time around, it's buffed. We get the resources doubled and they get automatically banked. But it's also nerfed because it doesn't apply to anything in farming, which it used to. So when you think about it, it's a little bit limited. When you woodcut, you get double logs and they're banked automatically. And when you fish, same thing. And when you mine, same thing. Now, if your goal is to AFK, this is where things are a little bit interesting, honestly. Think about woodcutting. Woodcutting is already considered an AFK skill. You do have to take a little bit of time to bank, to run back to the bank and bank and then go back to the trees. That's the aspect that's active. But otherwise, you just click on a tree and wait. So if you choose Relic 1, you'll be able to AFK a little bit harder. Just a little bit. But you'll still have to click on the next tree every time it goes down. The other benefit is that you'll be able to go to remote locations far away from a bank, and you won't have any competition for trees. So that'll increase AFK-ness a little bit as well. Let's think about fishing. Same thing, really. If fishing's already really AFK, and then you have to run your stuff back to the bank when you want to put it in the bank. Now, if you choose Relic 1, again, you'll be able to go to a few different locations that are far away from the bank and just sit there and fish forever. Really AFK. But it's not that big of a boost in AFK-ness. Again, taking it a step further and thinking about mining doesn't have ores that you just click on and fill your inventory up with. You have to click on every rock individually. So mining's already not that AFK, and if your ores are doubled and sent to the bank, the activity itself is just as click intensive. Basically just as click intensive, honestly. Maybe even a little less, because the time that you're running to the bank is the time where you're not constantly clicking and you're just waiting for your character to get there. The real time save is that the amount of ores that you need is halved. So you're just saving time with money. You're not increasing the amount of AFK that you have with mining. So it's kind of interesting that way. It doesn't let you get to level 99 mining faster though, because the amount of experience that you get is the same as everybody else. You don't get double experience for this. You don't get experience for the extra ore that you get, or the extra fish that you get, or the extra logs that you get. So when I think about Relic 1, I think about the biggest benefit being increasing the amount of AFK play that you can. But when you really think about it, it increases the AFK activity of woodcutting. It increases the AFK activity of fishing. Mining, still pretty active. Not super active, but still pretty active. And the Relic really doesn't affect that. So the biggest benefit of Relic 1, it really just halves the amount of time that you have to fish. It just halves the amount of time that you have to woodcut, and it halves the amount of time that you have to mine. So in a way of thinking, it kind of decreases the amount of time that you get to AFK. So there's actually a weird dynamic with Relic 1 when you think about it that way. Therefore, I think that it's more important to think about specific applications for each of the relics when choosing which one you want to go with. So specific applications of Relic 1 include mining rune essence. If you think about rune crafting during this league, it's pretty difficult, to be honest. We don't get to use bloods and souls to train our rune crafting this time around because we are not going to have access to Zaya. So rune crafting is actually going to be a big challenge this time around. But if you think about Relic 1 is going to just let you automatically bank rune essence, which is a decent walk away from a bank, and it's going to mine twice as fast. Mining rune essence is a huge waste of time, honestly. It gives hardly any mining experience, and it literally just takes forever to get a big pile of it in your bank. So that's a big boost from Relic 1. But then on the flip side, if you're thinking about actual efficient ways to get rune essence, not very many people are thinking about legitimately sitting there and mining it all themselves. Rune essence can come from temple trekking. Rune essence can come from PVM, and we've talked about those things before. But while we're on the subject of runecrafting, I'm going to go a little bit beyond just the basic concept of runecrafting and talk about a recent update that came out that not everyone's going to be aware of. There's a new item called Daeyalt Runecraft. Is it called Daeyalt Runecraft? Yeah. There's a new item called Daeyalt Essence, and that came out with the recent quest, Sins of the Father. You know what? I'm just going to show you what Daeyalt Essence is, because I actually haven't been there myself, and I'm thinking about using it myself. So I'm going to go over there and experiment and learn how to mine it myself. Here we are in Darkmire. Remember, if you haven't experienced this place before, this is a big city of vampires. It's really cool, and you need to be wearing an item called Vire Noble Clothing. So you've got the top legs and the shoes here. And if you're wearing this, the vampires all think that you're part of the vampire nobility and they don't attack you. If you take these items off, these vampires will attack you without end. And so that's why it's one of the strategies just to sit here without the clothing on and protect from melee, and you just can sit here and attack vampires all day. It's really awesome for AFK training. And maybe I'll get to try to do this in Trailblazer sometime. But on to the subject. Where are the Daeyalt mines? All right, so I just found my way over to the Daeyalt Essence mine, and this isn't a rune crafting video. This is a relic comparison video, but this is the Daeyalt Essence mine. So you come on down here, and this is epic. Let's check out how to do this, honestly. So you come on down here, one of the essence pillars is shimmering. That's the one that allows you to get Daeyalt from it. And Daeyalt already gives you a whole bunch in your inventory, and it's already stackable. So it's not like Relic 1 actually affects this. I'm assuming that it doubles it. So once again, when we're looking at this activity, it's going to potentially half the amount of time that you spend mining, but it's already an AFK activity. You know what I mean? It's already AFK. So this is actually an example where Relic 1 actually makes the AFK activity even less AFK because you spend less time doing it. If your goal is to be AFK and do well, I don't know, Relic 1's actually kind of turning out to be the opposite. Let's think about other specific applications when it comes to choosing Relic 1. One really interesting one is fire making. Again, the lack of Zez is going to change the meta on how we train another skill, and that's fire making. Fire making, we're literally going to be taking the nostalgic blast to the past where everyone is going to have to use fire lines to train their fire making if they decide that that's their goal, to get fire making experience. Because we don't get Wintertod this time around. So gathering logs is huge for training fire making, and if you have to chop all of your logs, that's going to take a significant amount of time. But if you take Relic 1, you'll be able to get logs a lot faster. When you think about fletching as well, you're going to need to come up with a bunch of logs to train your fletching. It seems like Relic 1 is going to increase the amount of logs that you can get per hour, and therefore the amount of fletching experience that you can get per hour. But when you compare that directly to Relic 2, you're going to spend extra time getting logs, but you're going to be able to fletch them faster. So there is a little bit of give and take there. So I can't sit here and confidently tell you that Relic 1 is going to speed up your fletching training. I can tell you that it's going to train up your construction training, because training construction is another one of those things that's just going to require getting a whole bunch of logs. And Relic 1 is the meta for getting logs as fast as possible. The big bottleneck for construction experience is how many logs that you have. It takes forever to get logs. So if you're able to get those quickly, you'll be able to train construction faster than other people. Now, recently we did get confirmation when it came to mining that mining is going to double the amount of pay dirt that you get. But if you think about pay dirt in Motherlode Mine, pay dirt is a special item that actually isn't bankable. So we're going to see if they make some kind of exception in Trailblazer that allows for Motherlode Mine to become more AFK, or if, again, choosing Relic 1 ironically makes an AFK activity less AFK. We'll see. So that's Relic 1 in my mind when I think about it. Honestly, I maybe shouldn't put this early in the video, but I'm going to say it right now. I think that Relic 1 needs a little bit of a buff, because I think it's meant to appeal towards players who like to AFK. And what I've thought about and discovered is I'm pretty sure it actually makes you less AFK if you're trying to play efficiently. I think that it needs a little bit of a buff in that it will auto-bank a few more materials, maybe some in like very specific cases. So let's say you're farming, and I would say that it should auto-bank those things for you and double it, but not herbs. That would be overpowered if it doubled herbs. So let's just keep that out of the equation. I think that'd be a decent buff. One buff that'd be kind of weird to give, but would increase the amount you can AFK, would be if it auto-banked certain PVM drops. I'm thinking something along the lines of, if you kill a cow, it doesn't drop the cow hide. It automatically sends that to your bank. But let me know if you think that would be a reasonable buff to make, or just too weird. So let's move on and talk about Relic 2. Now, we talked about how Relic 2 is really going to increase the speed at which you can smith, which you can fletch, at which you can craft, and it's going to be really, really cool, honestly. The one big drawback for me as an AFK-minded player is that it's really going to force you to click a lot if you want to take full advantage of the extra power that you get with this one. So it's still going to take you quite a bit of time to collect all the resources that you need, in order to utilize it. But let's say you do have a big pile of logs in your bank, you are going to be able to fletch those in the blink of an eye. If you have a big pile of raw fish, you're going to be able to cook them super, super fast. So that's kind of an exciting prospect, but you are going to be clicking a lot, with the reward being that you're doing it way faster than everybody else, with the negative being when you're playing RuneScape, you are locked in, you are playing RuneScape. That's going to be your life for that time. But just thinking about what we know about Trailblazers so far, I think this is one of the more interesting things to bring up when it comes to this relic. When we're thinking about Twisted League, we saw tons and tons of tasks focused on grinding skills. So we got rewarded for training skills for a long time and getting high levels in things. You got rewards for getting level 40, level 60, level 80, level 99 and things. Getting 25 mil, getting 50 mil experience, and beyond even. This league, they're taking a little bit of a different approach, and it's not going to be a grind competition. It's going to be completing unique tasks. So the way that they're focusing their effort when they're designing the task list is doing unique things, and that's probably going to come in the form of making things. Think about, like, there's probably going to be a task that says fletch a magic short bow entirely on your own. There's probably going to be one that's like craft a dragon fire potion entirely on your own, and those will be tasks on your own. So it's going to be a really good thing to up your ability to make things, and that's what Relic 2 does. It increases the speed at which you can train these crafting skills by a ton. They're all the skills that you use to make things: fletching, cooking, crafting, smithing. So these are really good things, I think, especially for this league. And for this reason, it really feels like this is a strong relic. So when we're thinking about a competition between how much time you AFK with Relic 1 versus how much time you AFK with Relic 2, it's kind of interesting. You do get to spend a lot of time doing the AFK activities, like chopping logs and banking them constantly, and fishing and having to bank them constantly. So that's going to take a lot of your time if you're a Relic 2 player. But then you don't have to spend any AFK time doing bank standing skills. So if you enjoy bank standing skills, this might not be the relic for you. But I kind of think one of the only drawbacks, honestly, when it comes to this relic is it's going to make your bank standing skills, and I think it exclusively applies to that, it's going to make your bank standing skills a lot more click intensive if you want to take proper advantage of this relic. And if that's the only drawback I can think of, that's pretty cool, because a lot of players aren't even going to see that as a drawback in the first place. And I think I'm starting to become one of them. Now, Relic 3 has required a lot of convincing from people in my Discord to tell me that this is a decent relic. So let's talk about Relic 3. Oh no. Twitch chat, did you really just say Relic 3 more like Relic P? Alright, Relic 3, a visible plus 10 boost to all of your non-combat skills. The big advantage to Relic 3 is early game. You are immediately going to be chopping trees way faster than other people, and probably within, 6 normal logs, you are going to be a player who's able to chop oak trees just like that. Now, that doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Wow, you can chop oak logs before other people. Whoop-de-doo. But the reality is that if you choose Relic 3 and you have a really great strategy and it's your plan to use the advantage of getting to areas faster than other players to snowball your success, that is going to be a very powerful route that you can take. Now, I'm not going to be able to map out a specific long plan for a Relic 3 player in this particular video, but maybe sometime soon. So you should subscribe if you're planning on taking Relic 3, and also if you're just planning on playing Trailblazer. And you know what? And if you just play RuneScape in general, maybe you should subscribe too. Relic 3 is actually really cool when you think about the snowball effect of success that you could have if you take this. Not to mention just the general advantages that you're going to have. The biggest one, in my opinion, being if you're a level 75 Slayer, you are going to be able to just go straight over to the Abyssal Demons and grind for a whip before other players do, and just early in your own account progression in general. It's going to be really awesome for you in that area in particular. So let's just take a case example of wood cutting. If you think about wood cutting, and I already described chopping like 6 trees, and then you're on oaks. Let's take that a step further. You get all the way to level 20 wood cutting, and it took you a total of like 100 logs, probably less. And boom, you're on willows just like that. You're probably accessing willows at a rate of 6 times the speed of other players. And, that's just wood cutting in its own. And I'll admit, wood cutting on its own is not extraordinarily important for your account's progression, but it is something to think about. And that's just one aspect of the game. You're on the good side of the funnel. I agree. Now let's address the big elephant in the room, and that is the cons of choosing Relic 3. And I've seen players take this route in bashing Relic 3. They say Relic 3 becomes weaker and weaker the later you get in the game. For example, if you got to level 89, just level 89 in all skills, suddenly all the benefits of Relic 3, the true benefits of Relic 3, which is unlocking content faster than other players, that gets wiped off the table because your visible boost becomes level 99 and you certainly have access to everything. And suddenly, once you're that high, once you're in late game, Relic 3 does absolutely nothing for you. Now let's think about this a little bit further. It is true that the biggest benefit of Relic 3 is unlocking content faster than other people. It's a really early game focused meta Relic choice. But there are some benefits, such as if you're level 109 woodcutting, you are getting logs a little bit faster than other players. If you... Okay, that's... Good troll. You are getting logs a little bit faster than other players at that point, if you are still chopping logs at that point in your account's progression. Now that brings us to the biggest thing that I'm about to say here is if you're going to say Relic 3 gets weaker and weaker the further along you get into the league, let's compare that to the other relics as well. So we think about Relic 1 and how it increases your AFK ability. And I didn't go into detail about this, but Relic 1 is actually going to be a really cool way to increase the amount of food that you have in the bank in order to do PVM early on. But that's only going to last so long. You're going to be able to fill up your bank with like 10k Karambwan, for example, and that's probably going to last you the entire league if you think about it. And at some point, you'll get level 99 mining and 99 fishing and 99 woodcutting, and then you'll be able to say, well, Relic 1 is now useless to me because we're in late game and I've done everything that it can benefit me. Let's look at Relic 2. It's going to increase the experience rates of a few certain skills like fletching and smithing and crafting and cooking, for example. But let's say you get level 99 and all those things and you craft everything that's related to those tasks. Well, boom, Relic 2 is now useless during late game. It seems like every relic is balanced in this same way that they get weaker late game and they feel cool early game. I think that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Cannonballs though. Now here is the argument that's coming in through Twitch chat when it comes to Relic 2. No one's trying to defend Relic 1, but they are defending Relic 2. They're saying cannonballs remain prevalent Potions remain prevalent. Arrows remain prevalent throughout the entire league. Well, I'm going to actually debate you on food and arrows, because you're going to be able to fill up your bank with food with either Relic 1 or 2 easily enough. And arrows don't take that long either. Oh, man. Okay, Twitch chat. I think that you've convinced me. Relic 2 does remain quite prevalent for late game. YouTube audience, I have to be completely transparent here. I was planning on not giving a controversial stance in this video, but I think my heart has changed while recording it and talking about the relics here. So let me say what I'm about to say here. I had a plan to say, you can't make a mistake when it comes to choosing your first relic. It's all about playing the game in the way that you're gonna find the most fun for you, and choosing the relic that fits your play style the best. That remains true to a certain extent, but I think I'm sold. As someone who was absolutely convinced that they were going to choose Relic 1 when I first read the list, I think that I'm a Relic 2 convert at this point. I think maybe Relic 2 is the best, just because of how great it is early game, but then also how great it is late game at the same time. I don't want to be sitting around making cannonballs all day. Brian, if you pick anything but Relic 2, you suck. All right, this is a part of the video that I'm the most excited about. We have about 15 people watching on Twitch, and I'm gonna run a poll here and see what my chat thinks. What is chat going to choose as their Relic 1 choice? This might influence your decision as well. Press 1 if you're picking Relic 1, 2 if you're picking Relic 2, 3 if you're picking Relic 3. Let's see how this goes. This poll looks like probably a good representation of how the player base will go. That's what I was thinking. So here is what Twitch chat said. I promise there's more people in here than voted, but you know, you've always got those lurkers. But as I thought, Relic 2, and just based on me hyping it up this entire time, Relic 2 has the most votes by a decent amount, actually, by double Relic 1. And as everyone was thinking, Relic 3 is the least popular. But not by much. And I'm sure I influenced this vote by a lot. I think what this tells me is that I have changed as a person. In the first league, I was against the grain. I took the relic that was going to force me to walk everywhere. But this time, I'm going with the crowd. I'm choosing the one that's gonna give us the best opportunity to get experience, and I actually don't think I'm taking that much of a sacrifice in AFK time. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm taking that big of a sacrifice in that department. So I did not want this to be a video about what Brian is doing, what WeSkillNow is doing, but it became that way. So let me know in the comments what relic you are choosing. I totally respect your choice, and especially if you've got a plan connected with your choice. Just tell me a couple parts of your plan in the comments as well. Let me know what you're doing. I'm totally interested in hearing it. Thanks so much for watching, and please, desperately, please subscribe to the channel. I am going to be documenting my journey through Trailblazer, and I want you to be there and hang out, and we'll hang out in Trailblazer. It's going to be such a fun time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. WeSkillNow.
Subscribe.